ever. Lancelotti?
Yeah, from Sir Lancelot.
That is fantastic. I love that name, Lancelotti. Yes, and what is your name?
Carol Bama Albright.
Fantastic. So you married out of our group, like
I
me.
married out.
Yeah, that's all right. You gotta mix it up, please. You've been in that war, though, with the Italians already. The Italian man, oh God. The Italian men, they always bristle when I say that, but you're not easy people. All right, yes, dear.
You mentioned a documentary. I don't know what documentary you're...
The documentary is Queens of the Big Time, and here's how it came about. 1990, my grandmother Viola said, gee, you know, your grandfather made these movies, they're in the basement. So my sister and I go downstairs and we took them into New York and we had them restored at Duart. And at that time in 1990, when you made feature films, every film went to Duart because there were Italians and Jews that worked in there, that buddies, and had done this for 40 years. So they took my grandfather's films and they restored them, basically. And what was so interesting about that is they said to me, he really knew what he was doing. And then we watched them. My sister had put them on tape, but when they were restored, they changed. Because it's a very slow process, and you almost see something come to life, someone's intent, a director of photography's intent. And so then I decided it was the 100th anniversary of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church in Rosetta, Pennsylvania, and I thought then, which was 1993, I'd take a camera crew in and we'd make a documentary. And oh, how I wish that I had the technology of 10 years later then. Because the film stock was expensive. We had a producer who had some of it donated. But it was so... if I could have had 10 cameras and sent everybody out, but I couldn't do that, you couldn't afford it. And then the editing of it took, forever. Because, you know, you pull money and then try to do a little bit each time. But what it became was the story, really, of this little village and the people, my father's people. And it's just a beautiful little film, new video, and we were doing a distribution deal, and it's going to come out next year, but we had to change out some of the music because it was only cleared for festival purposes. And so we went and we won the Audience Award of the Hamptons. What was the name of that film festival in California? It's a big one. See, my mind shot, because I have an 8-year-old, and I helped her with her math homework before I came over. Look, I'm standing up. What's that? Oh, it'll come to me. It's a big one. What? What is it?
Not in California.
No, not Sundance. In California, it'll come to me. And then no, now don't name them. It'll come to me.
Google. Somebody
yes,
Google.
And then we went to the London International Film Festival, Hong Kong International Film Festival. We went all over the world with it, and people just were enchanted by the story of the people. And it's a simple, beautiful little movie, and from that, I wrote Big Stone Gap as a screenplay, and 2 of my girlfriends who were in the book business read it and said it's a novel. And I was working on a television show, and I would get up very early before I had a daughter, and I would write in the morning. And then I sold Big Stone Gap, and then I was free. I could write books, which is my real passion, you know, and making movies too. I love to do that also. Did I answer your question?
You did.
That was the longest answer since Sarah Palin on Fox talking about the economy. All right, that was a joke. Please don't. You can't say politics in a room of Italians. They get very annoyed because we never agree, right? Never. Yeah, that's part of our people too. We just don't agree.
Adriana, what do you think of us? We're academics who have studied in a scholarly way the histories of small groups, and then a lot of us are writers who've done some autobiographical writing about our families, etc. Do you know anything about us? Do you care about us?
Oh, Dominic. With the camera aimed at me. Well, first of all, I wouldn't be here if I didn't care.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you that I am always, always very impressed by our educators, always, who are also, and usually, and sometimes writers. Happens, it's part of being a scholar. I don't fit in your group because my whole, except I have to say that I benefit from you because I use and read what you do. And then when I say I don't fit, I'm a commercial person, which means I'm like an Avon lady, or in the days of old, a Fuller Brush man, and I go door to door selling my Italian-American stories. There's a little bit of a difference there. I think that you are revered, and I think I'm a little bit of the court jester. Is that okay?
Good.
Well, what am I going to tell you? That's what I think is true. And education in our community is a very big deal. It's a very fresh idea. What is it, 100 years old maybe? That's very new in the history of the world. So, and I mean the kind of education that we have embraced is immigrants, children and grandchildren of immigrants. It's a big deal in our families to get an education, and so I've always been very serious about that. Great academic, no, but serious about it, yes. And right up the row here, it's so great, it's like a row of you. And then we make an L over to that handsome man with the green sweater. Yes, there's no ugly men here, I've already checked everybody out. Right, Kenny? Every time I come into a crowd, I look, because I have friends, they need guys, and I'm always looking. And of course, when you're dealing with Italian men, sometimes they can be very accommodating. Okay, yeah. Look at the women, they're like, yeah, why don't you write a book about that? I have several. Yes, dear.
Could you please read something?
Sure. You want to hand me that book right there?